Yeah, we're good.
Okay, hello everybody, it's Oliver Hines, aka Domino's from metalunderground.com. I'm really happy to say we're with Sumo Cyco, all the way from Ontario. How you doing?
Peace, we come in peace, guys. Happy to be here.
Good. Straight into it, you've literally...
Got a phone call.
What the?
Oh my gosh, it's like thunder, lightning,
Yeah.
phones ringing all at once. It's okay.
That's perfect. That is actually
It's
just
just
perfect.
pandemonium, like a Psycho show.
Not bad. Well, redo!
This is all staying in, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm cool with this.
Anyway, you've literally 2 days ago released the Acoustic Volume 2 EP,
Yes.
Sirens I think it's called.
Yeah, so Sirens is one of the songs of the 6 for the EP, which is volume 2 of our live acoustic sessions.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool, and it's quite surprising for me anyway, I'll try it again, that you guys are doing an acoustic EP, because the live show is so bombastic and electric basically. It's kind of strange to translate that to a acoustic.
It is. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It actually took me a while to even get our guitarist Matt's head around the idea.
Mm-hmm.
I was recruited by one of my friends who wanted me to do a singer-songwriters night in Toronto, where we're from, and I don't feel confident enough playing guitar myself, so I always would go to Matt, hey, can you play guitar for me? Let's do maybe a couple like songs or Sumo Cyco songs. And so I kind of forced him to learn a bunch of the material. And then once we did that, and we did our acoustic sessions when we came overseas last time, and we did a VIP kind of acoustic broken down performance for a few of our fans, we just realized that it's something that people can appreciate, because you're looking at the songs in like a new way, and
Complete new light.
yeah, and people can get out of them a lot of different kind of meaning when you kind of make the songs acoustic, more emotional. You're listening to the lyrics more. They can feel completely different. And one of the things that stuck out to me recently on this trip was going to the school. We went to a high school in Germany, and there was a choir, a school choir, that played guitar and sang our song Free Yourself back to us. And it was almost like in that moment I was like, I wrote this, like this doesn't even sound like my band, this sounds like a complete, like they took the song and they basically like made it amazing. That's what they did. So and it had a lot more meaning, the lyrics had a lot more meaning, hearing like a bunch of high school students singing it back to me.
Yeah.
So it's really cool how the song can grow and evolve and become something that I didn't even intend it to be, and that kind of starts with like looking at it in different ways, like the acoustic session. So long answer for a short question.
Were there any plans to kind of take the acoustic style on the road, or are you going to keep that for
Yeah, I think right now, I think the idea is to do maybe, if we're ever doing more shows where we can do VIP, I love the idea of doing an acoustic set, because we're the type of band that likes to just hang out and meet our fans regardless of if they pay a VIP ticket or not.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're going to pay the extra money to do a VIP, that we have to give them like that extra mile, right? So giving them a kind of a different performance is kind of cool. But I've noticed some artists are going out on the road and they're performing 2 nights in the same city. One night they're doing their electric set, the next night they're doing an acoustic set. So, I don't know.
That could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've seen bands do it at festivals as well. They're doing
Yeah.
a proper set and then acoustic the next day.
Cool.
But yeah, like I say, the live show is so energetic and fiery. I saw you in 2016 just around the corner at the Underworld.
Oh,
with
cool.
Japanese.
Nice.
And that was amazing. And what was funny was that I was watching you guys and I was like, yeah, this is a lot of fun. It reminds me of Skin Dread. And then like as soon as I thought that, you went, it's our new single, Move Mountains, that we did with Benji. And I'm like, oh shit. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Cool. So, and like I say, when you look on the Sumo Cyco website, it actually says, you know, it's more than a band, it's a feeling.
Yeah.
Which definitely comes across. It's not just a slogan, you know. So how would you describe that feeling of Sumo Cyco, if you like?
Yeah, to me it's like getting your head ripped off by a cheerleader. That's kind of like what I would say sometimes.
That pretty much sums it right
It's
up.
like, we're peppy, we're great, we're awesome, and then it's like, you know? So,
No, I don't think you can describe it any better than that.
Yeah.
It's like a musical battle royale. If you
fair enough.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, no, it's excellent. And speaking of Move Mountains, like I said, you collaborate with Benji for Skin Dread on that. And
Yeah.
how did the collaboration come about?
Well, I think when you love a band like I love Skindred, and you tell every single person you've ever met, including like anyone in the industry we've ever met, that like, hey, I'd love to do a song with Benji with Skindred, word gets around eventually. So we met actually Skindred's management. We had the same like mutual contacts in the music industry, and so I think between a few phone calls and a few emails sent his way, and then once we sent him the song, which he's not going to do something he hates, but I think he liked the track, and yeah, we sold him on doing it. And then the first time I actually got to meet him wasn't during the recording. During the recording he just sent his vocals into the studio. But during the music video is when I first got to meet him, and I was so nervous. It was like, you know, when you meet your idol, they tell you not to because you have like such high expectations for them that they can never live up to it.
Yeah.
Benji lived up to the expectations. He took us out in his hometown of Newport, showed us around, was like the coolest dude, just so open and just encouraging too. And to meet somebody that not only like you love their music, but they're also like, you know, I'm really digging what you do as well. That's like the biggest compliment in the world.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so actually on this tour we just happened to be able to catch Skindred live in Milton Keynes because we had an unfortunate incident where our camper got broken into and we had our passports stolen. So we needed to go all the way to London from Glasgow in like one day. And because of the fact we were doing so much traveling in that day, it just so happened that Skindred was playing along our route. And so I got to stop in and then do warning with the guys. So
Well, that's...
yeah, silver lining to
If
the
anything's
problem.
going to brighten up your day, the
Exactly.
Skindred concert is going to
Yeah.
do that. You know.
You're
Cool.
right.
Like you say, you mentioned a music video there, and Sumo Cyco is kind of already known for music videos. You did 8 for the first album, let alone you've done at least 2 for the Opus Mart. What is it about music videos that you think is such a prominent, if you like, use for promotion, especially nowadays where we're not seeing so much on TV anymore?
True. I think people do discover bands online on YouTube, on their Instagram, Facebook. So having a visual is like, we're just like a constantly consuming culture. So you need to have more than just the music to draw people in. And I really liked the idea even before I feel like we all had these crazy smartphones in all of our hands, because I liked the idea that I could create something that took the music and further expressed it in an even like different, more, I don't know, it's just like another, it's another aspect of my creative flow, as you would say. So when I'm writing a song, I get into that creative mindset and things just kind of tumble out, and the same thing when I'm doing a music video, it has that same idea of something is fulfilled when I can get a vision that's racing around my head onto the videos.
Plus they're a lot of fun to make.
Yeah. I try to have a lot of fun with them, and I mean, like, for instance,
Waterboarded someone before.
We had this one fan, Lars from Germany, who recently we're hanging out with. He comes to like so many shows, but he the first time we met him, he came to Canada to do a music video with us. It was part of our crowdfunding campaign that you could pay to be in a music video, and we didn't think anyone would do that if they're from Germany. I'm like, how are you ever going to get to Canada from Germany? But he flew himself in, and then like acted for the first time, got dressed up in makeup for the first time, was a total sport, even like painted the walls at like 2 a.m. because we were doing a set, and super great sport about it all. And so now he's a school teacher in Germany, and all of his students started to know about their teacher who's in this like rock music video.
That's how we got to play this school.
Yeah, so this time around we were near his hometown. He's like, okay, well the kids know the song, so you guys got to come in and perform. So we performed Lars High School, which is a crazy highlight of our trip, because I've never been able to like literally stop classes from happening where kids are just like pouring into the common room and just
It was definitely an
moshing
amazing
at
experience.
9 a.m. in the morning.
They let them mosh in the school. Like, that just doesn't happen.
I know.
It does in Germany.
Oh, in Germany,
Apparently, yeah, we learned our lesson.
Back to home, if I did this, it'd be like suspension.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what's fascinating about the music videos, as well as exciting to see, is that they are all kind of concept driven. There's a lot of creativity in there. It used to be bands would release free videos and most of them would just be them in an airplane hangar.
Exactly.
Or something like that,
A
a
warehouse.
warehouse or something. You know.
Brick wall.
Yeah, well, it is once, but you do it 3 times
Yeah.
in the same album. But say you've done 8 different things for one album alone, and more and more and more. So where you getting the ideas from for this? As you're writing the song, is it like, well, this would be a cool little story?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's most of the ideas come from access to like really cool locations. So if I have a cool place that I know I can get access to, I'm like, how can I work this into the concept? Because that's how a band like us, which is low budget, independent, don't have huge music video budgets, are able to make things look like they're a lot more expensive and a lot more kind of production value when you can find like cool places. So, you know, one location I found, they were going to tear down the house, so they would let me draw all over the walls and make it rain inside. And for the last record, Opus Mar, everything takes place in a train. So I thought, let's make each train car a different theme, a different vibe. I got a lot of inspiration from a movie called Snowpiercer, if anybody wants to check it out. It's a great film. And so each car was like a completely different theme. So we did one that's like an office theme, one that's like a dining car theme, one that's an engine room. And so it all kind of has a cohesive vibe. So all of this from our geeky psychos out there takes place in our world called Cyco City, where anything goes. And the world, I like to think, is a collaboration. So our fans can be part of that world. They can be their own characters. They can think of their own backstories. I've done competitions where fans have had to come up with a character that they wanted to be in the music video, and then we picked a winner and that character appeared in the music video. So it's a lot of, a lot of like creative kind of collaboration with not just the band, but with our fans and getting them involved in the whole process. And it's kind of been a fun side project. So eventually I can see like graphic novels coming out and like doing more videos that aren't necessarily, you know, just music videos. It could be like skits to kind of like wrap things up and make things make sense. But I have an overall story arc that hasn't been completed yet. So there's still a lot more work to be done with that.
Very cool. And I didn't realise that was part of the concept, was all the train carriages in there, because I love the artwork as it is.
Thanks.
I didn't realise that was all part of it. And so is Cyco City kind of based on Toronto or Hamilton or anything like that, or is it just pure fiction?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of everything, because we do have to find locations that are in Cyco City but are kind of in our neighborhood. So, for instance, there's one scene in one video, a cover we did of an Oingo Boingo song called Who Do You Want to Be Today? And we went downtown to Yonge and Dundas Square in Toronto, and it's kind of like Toronto's version of Times Square. So they have tons of billboards and signs everywhere, and it was a labor-intensive process, but in every shot, every single billboard we changed to make it a product from Cyco City. So we had like Sumo Soda, and we had the Cyco Casino, and we had all these, every single billboard, like in CGI, we had to change to be like our own brand of like what we would have in Cyco City. I even added like an extra like train car going through the shot that's not there, and things like that. So I was testing myself with my limits of my program, what I could do with special effects. And props to Francesca Ludicar, graphic designer, for helping me come up with all the different billboards. But yeah, so stuff like that, we really put so much thought into it. I don't even know if half the fans even realize, you know, in one of our videos is like you're looking at a liquor cabinet, and people don't realize inside the liquor cabinet we've rebranded every single liquor to be our own, like, you know, Vixen vodka is our own line from Cyco City, and we have a Goblin whiskey or whatever.
We're a little too into it sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm really into it. It's like in my perfect world, I'd like own like a theme park, you know, which everything is completely like filmed. Like
we've got
Cyco
many
City
years
vibe.
ahead of us.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, dream big, right?
Where's the wood?
Oh, very good. And I believe you're now based in Hamilton.
Yes, so these guys are north of Toronto, and
Right.
then me and Matt are outside Hamilton. So we say Hamilton, Toronto, because
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it might as well be. But I've heard you say that Hamilton's like a bit more rock and roll than Toronto.
is.
Yeah.
I've never been to Canada, but I've wanted to since I was 10 because I'm a wrestling fan.
Oh, nice.
So I wanted to go to Calgary. But anyway, so what is it that makes Hamilton that much more rock and roll than Toronto?
Yeah, I think it's just like a lot of, because it's like a steel city. It's on the lake, and they have a lot of steel plants. So it's like very like a blue collar kind of working kind of class families, and it's kind of been known to be like a little bit like more
Grungy.
grungy in a way. It's like Toronto
Not in
is
a
like
bad
more
way.
expensive.
Yeah.
Everything's
Yeah.
like higher end, and Hamilton's close enough to Toronto that you could still like commute, but it's like not as expensive. So it's actually cheaper for a lot of artists like ourselves, and a lot of visual artists and sculptors and all types of artists to live there versus living in Toronto, where it's super expensive to like get a 1-bedroom condo. So.
Yeah.
So we have something called Super Crawl, and every in the summer, every one Sunday every month, they have like huge street festivals that are just filled with art and culture and music, and so there's a lot of very cool bands that come out of Hamilton. I think it's just like a rock and roll kind of like, everybody has a little bit of a harder edge because they've had to like fight to get the scraps on the table. But yeah, I like it. It has I always say when I come over, there's a bridge called the Burlington Skyway that leads from Toronto to Hamilton, and the steel plants look like the fires of Mordor from Lord of the Rings. Like it looks like you're coming into like an apocalyptic town. There's fire and smoke, and
That's where you got the idea for Cyco City.
yeah.
I was just going to say that it's got to fuel the
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. And being Canadian, what would you say, again, for people like me that don't really know, is the difference playing live in Canada compared to the USA, compared to Europe?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I find is that regardless of the country, I think that if you're in a city that's like a very populated city where you kind of get spoiled, where you get all the bands, like all the bands get to come to your city, it's a different response than other places where you go to where they're like, oh my god, thank you for coming here, because no bands come here. So I think versus being like I think rock fans have a lot more in common throughout the world than I think we all realize. Toronto crowds, because like they're one of those spoiled crowds, they can be a little standoffish with their arms crossed, kind of like judging you from afar, But I think if you pick them on the right night when they got enough drinks in them, they'll do anything you say.
Yeah.
At least when I got the microphone.
No, yeah.
See, London has a bit of a reputation like that as well, but
Right.
I mean, you guys went down great when I saw you, and I'm sure it'll happen again tonight because, like I say, it's just that great vibe. It's
Oh,
just so
thank
much
you.
fun. And no, all of you. But yeah, and then I've noticed on the rest of the tour, you're playing in cities like Norwich and Brighton, who again the bands come through, but not too
Yes.
many. It's normally just London, Manchester,
Yeah.
Glasgow if you're
I
lucky.
think it's our first time
Yeah.
for them too, right?
Yeah, first time playing Norwich and Brighton.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So it's interesting, like we played last night in Liverpool, we've never made it up to Liverpool before, and I was really amazed and surprised by all the Cyco support, all the t-shirts in the crowd.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, the crowd went nuts and they were ready to party, so yeah, so I was really happy about that. And sometimes I don't realize that because we haven't made it out to those towns, that those fans have been traveling every single time to see
Yeah.
us play, and they're so excited that we're finally coming to their hometown. So I'm sure we'll find some of those characters in Brighton and Norwich. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, thank you ever so much for taking the time to speak to me today.
Cheers,
I really
man.
do
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And have a great show and have a great Christmas.
Thank you
too.
very much.
Sounds good.
Bye now.